Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. I can't believe that we're doing this in November 2021. Can you? There are so many months until we get to actually go, hopefully go, to Eurovision Song Contest in Turin in May 2022. But the journey has begun. That's right. We're talking Estonia. Last week we had our first quarterfinal review, and this week it's the second. So Estonia have enabled an early Eurovision national selection process. 202 entries were submitted to Estonia this year. The Estonians have decided that they want to play 40 of them to the world. And that started last week. We had 10 songs, 5 qualified, 3 from televote, 2 from the jury, and the same process has taken place again this week. That's right, we've got 4 weeks of this, 40 songs to get through, and we're going to make a start very shortly. But I want to say hello to my panel. As you noticed, no co-host this evening, it's just me on my own, so I'll be in the chat room with you as well as hosting tonight's show. We'll say big thank you and big welcome and thank you for being here to Martin from the Let Me Be The One blog and podcast.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying Estonia as much as we are.
Yes, of course, Martin, you are Estonian. What should we call you? Should we call you an Estonian stato? Can we call you that?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, why not? Yeah, go on then.
Martin's now known as the Estonian stato. Also, with all the knowledge about everything Eesti Laul, it's Tristan.
Hello there. Nice to be back.
Good to have you back, Tristan. And don't forget to subscribe to Love Your London, which is Tristan's very well-known YouTube channel taking you across all the various night spots and places that you want to know and see across London. Joining us from Malmo this evening, it's Jeanette.
Hello, everyone. Oh, boy, you're in for a treat tonight with all these super, super lovely songs.
Yes, we
Stay
are.
awake.
Absolutely. Well, where were they going to go? It's a Sunday evening after all. All the way from Belgium, we say hello to Elina.
Hello. Oh, that's my voice. Hello. It's nice to be back.
Good to see you, Elina. And finally, last but not least, we say a very good evening to the king and queen of ESC Fan TV. That's Phil and Michelle.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, I can't wait. I've never heard songs like it.
Right, I think we should make a start. So these are the 5 songs which very sadly didn't make it. And for those who aren't aware of the Eesti Laul process, you're not seeing live performances yet. You'll see them in the semi-finals. What you will see over the next 2 weeks, we've had 2 already, is a load of videos up on screen, and the viewing public in Estonia and the juries of Estonia are voting their favourites. These are the 5 that they just did not get. There you go. That's your 5 bottom entries this week. But before we get started and ask the panel what they thought, huge thank you to those in the chat room. We say hello this evening to Andrew, hi to Anita, to Anya, to Thomas, to David, to Matthew, to Andrew. Yes, I am multitasking. I'm really sorry for that, Thomas. It's going to get really, really ropey shortly. And to ESC Manga. And there are over 300 of you in the chat room this evening. So thank you for joining. Do keep your comments coming through. Let's go to Martin. Martin, I think these are 5 good entries in the bottom 5. Sort of, I really do think there were some real entries that kind of missed out. Why? So tell me through your favourites, and why do you think these didn't quite make it?
I mean, obviously the one that everyone probably is going to focus on is the Meisterjaan, Vahel, lihtsalt, the sort of video, the sort of comedy video with him dressed as a cleaner or road sweeper, and sort of the Japanese stuff all over it, and it did make me laugh. I really enjoyed the video. I'm not sure how it would have been live, to be honest, but yeah, I think everybody really enjoyed that one. I was surprised it didn't get through. I thought the public were going to vote for that, but you know, if you've ever been to Eesti Laul and seen some of the Estonian clips that they show and during the show, their humour's quite odd in some things, and this would have appealed to them. So yeah, there you go. Now, my personal favourites from the 5 that didn't get through is An-Marlen, the Lõpuks, muutub, the club learn one. Really like that one. And, you know, I thought she sort of got us Amory, Zara Larsson sort of vibe. Really good video for a clubland track. But again, obviously, Estonian people didn't like it. And my favourite of the night that didn't get through was Desiree, was it Siiani? And great voice. Love how it looked, sort of like all that. It's sort of like a Bond film type thing, sort of like cutting between how she looking from one side to the other. Loads of attitude, lots of emotional angst. Yeah, no idea why that one wasn't a jury pick, really. But, you know, obviously the juries wanted to go for other things. So those, out of the 5, those are my 3 that I really enjoyed. So, yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, just thinking about An-Marlen's song. It translates, by the way, as "It Finally Changes," because I'm not prepared to even attempt to pronounce some of these tonight. A mix of garage, R&B and soul influences. They really do well at Eurovision, especially around the national finals or national selection season. Tristan, you're a big fan of this song. Why did this not make the cut? It's so good.
I don't know. It is really good. It's probably, apart from obviously Meisterjaan, it's probably the only one that I can remember sort of 24 hours later. It has that sort of like, it's a really cool song. It's got that sort of like trip hoppy vibe to it. It was by far the best song. I mean, it wasn't the most entertaining song, that was Meisterjaan, but it's by far the best song and probably the best voice as well. And I think it would have definitely got through the Saturday night in Turin. I can't say that about any of the others, really. It was just really, it was really fun. I mean, it wasn't as fun as Meisterjaan. That was my favourite, just because it was just so out there and weird. And to be honest, I mean, that was just quirky and it was different and interesting lyrics as well. Sort of, I didn't really make, you know, depreciation of serotonin, the elimination of illusion, Then he starts talking about it's an exposition of my only soul. That may sound like appropriation to you, but no matter, because soon there will be a Megatron sometimes. It's just all quite bizarre and weird. I liked it. It was just fun. Viralt, I didn't really. Are we talking about all the songs, or are you talking about?
You tell me your favourites, Tristan. You got the floor. You tell me which ones you felt should have qualified and why.
I mean, those are the 2 that for me should have qualified. The others, I mean, Silver Juster, it was all right. It reminded very much of Inga. Remember Inga from the last few years, the slightly androgynous person with the guitar. Very, very similar style of song, and it was really nice, and I liked the video as well.
Bit of a dreamy rock ballad, wasn't it?
Viralt. I wrote down sort of like bargain basement Anastasia. It wasn't just the yellow sunglasses, but it was. It was all right. It was at least it was different, and she was interesting. But they're also quite big. They've had 2 albums, and one of them actually got to number 2 in the Estonian charts for about 8 weeks or something. So it's really surprising that didn't get through. They also raised a lot of awareness about cancer and stuff like that. So really surprising. Didn't think they were great songs, but I was just surprised that they didn't get through. More than anything, because I thought they were much more interesting than the ones that did. But I'm gutted about Meisterjaan, because that would have been such fun.
And talking of which, hashtag free Meisterjaan. Phil and Michelle, this had to have been right up your street.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I don't know why he was sweeping up with a dustpan and brushing the building site. I also don't know why that couple who were on the bed didn't just tell him to piss off, to be honest, because they seemed to be in the way rather than
Well, maybe that's what they're into. Who are we to judge?
But yeah, it was fun. It was strange. It was what I like about Estonian songs, you know, and Eesti Laul.
Does anyone else think that it was his mum that videoed it?
Yeah, it wasn't a big budget video. But I mean, the other thing I did like is if you have a look at some of his other stuff on YouTube, he's a big proponent of the old twangy thing.
Yes.
So,
we love a twanger.
oh, we love an Estonian twanger, as you know from last
It's not
week.
very often that I agree with Phil, but unfortunately I do on this one. Can you imagine him with a fluoro jacket looking like he's just brushing up, not supposed to be there? Then it all breaks out into this, you know, and you got a load of half-naked male dancers behind you. It'd have been brilliant. They missed a trick.
Yeah.
Missed an absolute trick.
You quite liked An-Marlen, didn't you?
I did, but I think that's because it reminded me of like all the dance tracks from the 90s, and quite frankly, I was off my tits for most of the 90s. Loved them. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It took me back there. Oh, funny me knees could cope with all the dancing anymore. But I really liked that one. I thought it was better than the other dancey one.
Yeah, and Viralt, we sort of had a discussion as, is it rock or is it country and western?
No, it's country.
Yeah, it was nice. It's nice to see an all-female rock band on there. Or country
Shame it
band.
was country and western.
But I think, you know, it wasn't as good as, was it Bomadu last week? I thought they were the better rock band. And I think, you know, you don't want too much rock in the final.
It's not rock, it's country. It's, you know. No, it was awful.
Desiree. I've got a question for you guys. Do you think, and I sort of open this up to the panel, do you think the fact that they're just showing videos puts some of these songs at a big disadvantage? Because I feel like in the last two quarterfinals, we've missed and lost a couple of really good potential entries that need a stage to really come alive. Alina, you're sort of shaking your head there. Do you think, I'll come back to you in a minute, Phil and Michelle, but do you think that we're in danger of losing some crazies, but also some classics?
Yeah, of course, because the live performance can sometimes be so much different than the music video, and sometimes you like a song more because of the live performance, or you really hate it. And I think that's a shame we don't have now, because it makes us judge a song on a different way. It's going to be so much different than what we're going to see at Eurovision, so I think that's really a shame.
I think we're going to get the contrary with one of the ones that's gone through as well, where if her live is like it was last year, she's done better by having the video this round to get her through, because, well, we'll talk about that later. So I think there'll be some performers that aren't as good live, but the video makes them better. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's difficult because you're not really comparing apples with apples here. You can watch a music video and think, wow, that's fantastic. And, you know, there's green screens being used there. There's people out and about in forests and whatnot. But in fact, it comes down to live performance. Phil and Michelle, sorry, back to you. Which of these five do you think could have been elevated through the use of a live stage?
Well, who was that bloke who wandered into the water? Did he qualify? Because
no, that was
Silver.
What was it?
Jusilo, yeah.
Oh God! Do you know I couldn't cope with it? It was all in slow mo. He's walking into it, and I thought if you put him on a stage with, you know, a few people around him, sort of thing, and telling a story on stage, it would have been better than him in slow mo wandering into a lake. I think it completely lost me, because I thought every time I listen to a song in this, I'm thinking, how are they going to replicate it on stage? What's the staging going to be like? And that, you've got nothing. You can't correlate anything with the video as to anything that would happen. So I think he massively lost out. I think he would have done better, obviously, if you could see the staging. But also, I think An-Marlen as well, because that video was nothing. It was her just in different places, wearing a different dress. It didn't mean anything at all. But I think if you'd have got her on stage, a few dancers dancing and singing with it, I think it would have been on point. I think she would have done really well.
I think as well, it was clear that some of the songs had a much bigger budget for the video than others. Which kind of not really sort of fair, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not on a level playing field if you're doing videos instead of being on stage, because you've got the stage managers and everyone's going to sort it out and do it all for you sort of thing, so that you'll come across. And if you can sing perfectly, but your video's rubbish, you're just going to remember the rubbish video. Whereas if you're singing live on stage, you're going to think, oh my goodness, you know, that's a cracker.
Another question. I'll come to Jeanette for this. Jeanette, all 10 songs this week were in Estonian. So Estonia are guaranteed to have 5 songs in those semi-finals, at least in their native language. Does it put the artist at an advantage or disadvantage, do you think, going into those semi-finals?
If it's a good song, it would be an advantage. But listening to this today, it's been a bit of a disappointment, all of it. And you know, their language maybe isn't the sexiest language in the world. So I think they should stick with English, actually. But I'm surprised that two of my songs that I actually did like got out. It was the An-Marlen. It was up tempo, so it was kind of easy to listen to. And the thing I remember from her video was that she had like boots when she was lying in her bed, looking sexy. I didn't really get that. But I also liked the Desiree song. Strange that these two didn't make it, because it wasn't the best quarterfinal, if we say it nice.
Well, I mean, how do we think it compared to last week? Just quickly, just general row of hands. Let's go to Martin on this. Martin, how does it compare with last week's, do you think? Is it marginally better or marginally weaker?
It's difficult to say, because, of course, last week had some people, had like Stig and Evelyn Samuel, who've been to Eurovision. So in a way, I think it's a bit difficult because you got better or more recognisable people. I think for us Eurovision fans, probably apart from Andrei and Grete, we probably didn't, you might have known a couple of the others. There's probably a lot of artists we don't know. But yeah, I must admit they're different. But I would have probably, for me, I think overall last week's semi-quarterfinal was stronger, but there were sort of better individual songs this week, for me anyway.
Well, let's take a listen to some of those. So we're going to move on now to the 3 televote winners, and we're going to start with Helen with Look at Me. So Helen's no stranger to Eesti Laul. She was here in 2021, competed with the song Nil Korgele, but unfortunately failed to qualify. Pop disco for Estonia. Tristan, you're a fan of this one. Yeah. Tell us why.
Well, when I say I'm a fan of it, it's my favourite of the 5 that qualified. But it's not. It wouldn't be probably in the top 4 of the 10. It's okay. I mean, it's quite funky. It's a really well constructed song. It's got a cool factor, and it's is it memorable though? I mean, I keep forgetting about it, and then obviously when I hear a clip, I remember it, but I couldn't sort of recall it. It's sort of like it's quite sort of predictable how it goes, and fairly, yeah, it's all right. I mean, there's nothing special about it, but at least it was better than some of the other ones I went through. That's all I can really say. I mean, I can't really say.
I wonder whether this effectively knocked out An-Marlen's song. An-Marlen's a debutant at Eesti Laul, and I wonder whether Helen, being reasonably well known from her stint last year, helped to take this one through. I'd be really interested to see how this compares. Vote for vote, pound for pound against An-Marlen's song. I'm going to get one more view on this. Let's go to Jeanette. Jeanette, what has she got to do in the semi-finals? Because she'll be singing live in the semi-finals in February. What has Helen got to do to this song to make it stand out?
Well, Martin said that she wasn't that strong vocally, so maybe she should try to be a better vocalist. Just give it all. And the staging, I'm not sure, because when I look what it's called, Vaata, minu, poole. In Swedish, I would just say, and I translate the Swedish to English, it would be like water my pole, which is weird.
Water my pole.
Yeah. And you can have your own imagination about that.
I'm there, Jeanette. I'm
You're
imagining
already
away.
there. Yeah, water my pole. Well, it always ends that way. So I
Okay.
imagine the staging of that. As long as there's some glitter in it, it's gonna be good. Water my pole. Come on, it has to go through.
And Martin, just on this, it's fair to say she struggled in 2021. I can't believe we're doing 2021 or 2022. We're still in 2021. This is so confusing. Why is Eurovision so early? What does she have to improve on in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, thinking back, because I loved her song last year when it was in the studio, and then it was just, she didn't do it justice at all live. And I mean, as long as she sings this okay, then it's a pleasant enough pop song, radio friendly. But I was surprised it went through, to be honest. And I think you probably hit the nail on the head. Maybe her visibility with the Estonian public was enough to get her through to last night, rather than some of the others, because it wasn't my favourite. I would have probably had it sort of like 9th or 10th out of the 10. That's for me anyway. So.
Okay, well, let's turn our attention to the next song, Laululind, which translates roughly as songbird. So we've got another artist, or one of the artists who's no stranger to Eesti Laul. This is a beautiful, beautiful duet. I really like this, actually. And I think the video is very cinematic. I think it really works well. I can imagine this doing great things on stage. Let's go to Gustav. Gustav is not here. So no one's here to talk about a ballad. So
next,
got it. Should we go to the next one? No, we're gonna pick somebody to talk about a ballad. I'm gonna go to Alina because she looks like she wants to talk about this one. Alina, I really like this. The chemistry that they have in the video, they look really into each other, and it works so well. How can they pull this off on stage in the semi-finals?
God, what a question. I don't know. That's a really good question. I think just a calm setting with a lot of yellow lighting, and then just a nice ballad song, like not too much glitter and all of that stuff. That just the song can like be on its own.
I'm just thinking back to Spain from 2018, the duet where it was, kind of really emotional and loving. Can anyone remember Spain? Go that far back to Spain 2018? No, there's people shaking their heads. You should remember.
There was no chemistry between them.
Well, there was in the video.
It was sweetly saccharine and horrible.
We can all fake it.
Fake it till you make it, darling.
Exactly.
Spain. Now I remember. Oh,
yeah, I remember. I remember all right. And look who's just joined the party. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Tom, we're just doing Estonia, actually. We're doing Songbird, Laululind. Phil and Michelle, for me, this is the best song of the 10. Can it be a contender for Estonia?
No. I think you're deluded.
You've lost it.
I just didn't think it went anywhere, really.
It was so dull.
It was all right. I mean, they obviously spent a bit of money on the video, but it wasn't, I think as Tristan said, it's one of the songs that wasn't really memorable.
You see, you think there's chemistry between them and all that and everything, but me and Phil fake it every week for this show. And nobody can tell.
There you go.
It was dull, it went nowhere.
Matthew agrees with me in the chat. He says, really beautiful love song, really good voices. Triin sings with such power and emotion. I can imagine this doing really well at Eurovision.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Well. No, he's done well.
I agree with you, Matthew. In fact, I think it could be a bit higher than 8 out of 10. It's a really, really good entry. And ESC Manga agrees Triin deserved the semi-finals. This could be an emotional on the live stage. I agree. I actually think this song success hinges on how this can be delivered live, and I really think it could be delivered really well. Let's have one more opinion. Tom, what did you think of this song, and have you listened to it?
I'll be honest. I've listened to the recap of all of them, but I have to say this got skipped very quickly. Didn't like it. Sorry. There were two songs I really liked out of the Estonian heats last night, and yeah, this wasn't it. Just didn't catch the imagination. Sorry.
Well, we're going to move on to the absolute favourite from last night. Well, this is Miss Nüüd, Saab, which means what now?
This was the favourite.
That was the favourite. Yes, let's play it again. That was Andrei Zevakin featuring Grete Paia with What Now, which, yes, was one of the favourites to win last night. And, of course, did win. It went through. It was one of the 3 televotes. No idea if it won, but it certainly went through. Andrei is absolutely no stranger to Eesti Laul. In fact, he's no stranger to 2022, having written Keia's Every Time, which failed to qualify last week. Let's go to Martin. Martin, this, for me, is a really good entry, actually. I think it's equally as commercial as the previous one we've just seen. I really like the Latin pop vibe running through. I think it really works very, very well. And I think they're going to work really well together live on stage in the semi-finals. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they are the most recognisable people on last night, because he was obviously in 2021, he got 5th, and she just missed out on, she's been at Eesti Laul about 3 times. This might be number 4, but she just missed out on going to Eurovision in 2013. Just missed out of Brigitte. But yeah, I mean, the video was great setting. They're good performing. Music's good. I think I expected Greta to be more involved, but she is the featured artist, so Andrei's taking it on. It's sort of like San Remo's sort of style, but you know, good show with the video. I'll be interested to see what it's like actually live in the studio or in the venue, wherever it's going to be. I mean, if they perform to the best of their ability, I think they're probably going to be one of the front runners in this year's Eesti Laul. But obviously, we've still got another 20 entries to go, so who knows, really?
Yeah, don't remind me. Thanks, Martin. Another 20 entries to go. Phil and Michelle, is this a potential contender to win Eesti Laul?
I didn't like it. I thought the tune wasn't bad, but I just found it very repetitive, the lyrics.
It was his voice. It was just like one tone all the way through, and I just sort of zoned out of...
You know, it just seemed to be like the same line in the same chorus over and over again. And I kind of...
I mean, we all know that's cheating. You've only got 3 minutes. You don't say the same thing over and over and over again. That's just cheating in Eurovision.
It didn't really work for me. Although, to be fair, when he did sing the verses, he didn't have cram some words in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of words. But
yeah, but no, by the end of it, I'd kind of had enough.
It's one of those that I think we should have liked. But it just, I don't know, it just went on and on and on.
Yeah, it was boring. Just say it, Michelle.
And it was just...
Yeah, that was the real problem with it. That one line that was repeated so many times.
It was that one line that was repeated so many times.
That one line repeated so many times.
It was just that one line that was repeated so many times.
But they're very competent performers. And as Thomas says, they could have the best chemistry on stage. They really could. And I think this could go places. And I think it's the type of song that it's modern. It's definitely for the younger generation. And there's something in there for everyone. And I think it's cool. Elena, what are your thoughts?
I liked it, and I'm the younger generation, so that's the nail.
I don't know. Fist bump to you, Elena. Let's get this right. There we go. There you go. You liked it. Tell me why. You. Yes, Alina.
I was already on mute. Sorry. Yeah, just a bit up tempo and nice people to look at. So yeah, and it sticks in your head. So
it does stick in your head, and that's a good thing. That's
if it's a good song or not, it sticks in your head. And that's
I'm interested to see how they might recreate the staging, though, because I think the staging is key as well as the last one here. But that is the favourite to have won last night. It's definitely going to go up in the final, in the semi-final, and could be a contender to win Eesti Laul. I know Jeanette's going to disagree with me because she's already agreed that with herself that Interstellar's going to win it by an absolutely country mile, haven't you, darling?
Yes, that is correct. I have the winner picked out last week. It's just, why are we watching another 30 songs? Just wasting time. And this song, I don't know what you see in it. I can't see it. It was not good at all. Not in the beginning, not in the middle, not the end was good because then it was over. It was just dreadful. No. Next.
Well, talking to next, we're going to move on to the 2 songs now, which were saved by the jury. So they were your favourites in the televote, but the jury gets to pick 2 more to go through. This is one of the picks. This is hip hop in Estonia. This is hip hop in Eesti Laul. So Jyrise, if I pronounce that correct, is actually better known in Finland, first of all, but he's been singing since 2006 and raps in English, Finnish and Estonian. Let's go to Phil Michelle. What did you make of this one?
I like this. It's good to have a bit of Estonian rap. Yeah, it was fun. I think it could be good live. I'll be interested to see what the translation of the song, what it was actually about. But it looked like it was fun. It was good. I did think the guy possibly should ask for his money back because that didn't look like a very good haircut. But apart from that, loved it.
I like the idea of him sat there while a barber has a bit of gives him a haircut on stage. I think, well, we've not seen that before. That would be brilliant to see. I thought it was very catchy. I like the clapping and the way that the song went about, but he didn't breathe all the way through it. He just carried on and 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 on. How would he do it live? Could he pull it off? It's a lot of words in 3 minutes.
Oh.
But I loved it.
You know what? He's kind of teasing a little dance routine for the whole of the Eurovision world to join along, right? Yeah, the song's called Plaksuta, which translates as clap, as if you didn't get that from the song. Tristan, with the right performance, this can go places, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it was different, and at least one of the songs that were a bit different got through. It was. I think I had it as my fifth favorite. I think it was of all. So I was quite happy it went through. And I was also like wondering what on earth is he singing about. So I did translate the lyrics. They're odd. It's talking about how he's got no money and he's forever young, but it's slippery here as though there's a banana peel. And life is like rock, paper, scissors. For me, there is no atmosphere. But it's all talking about. It's basically talking about his youth and about how he didn't have to worry about what time he got home because life was carefree and it didn't matter if he didn't have any money because all his bills were paid anyway. It was an interesting song. I think obviously it would benefit if it were in English because it would then people would understand the lyrics and it would get more of an appeal. If it were to win Eesti Laul, there's no way it would make the Saturday night final. Certainly not in Estonian anyway, because it's just like only Estonians and maybe the odd Finn will actually understand what he's on about. But it was fun because it was different, and diversity in Eurovision, and there was just too many samey songs last night. So this one, and obviously Meisterjaan, were the two that stood out.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely stood out, as did hashtag free Meisterjaan. Martin, run out. Let me get my words out. Let's run this one to the end. Jyrise, clap. You like this one? Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it was one of the earworms that would stick in your head out of most of them last night. It's probably my most popular out of the 5 that went through. This was the one that I liked the most. You sort of got the hip hop and sort of like that jazz feel, sort of 1920s, 30s. And the video was entertaining. If you get past the fact it looks a bit like a hipster, you know, it's sort of like getting a haircut, doing a dance, being on settee with his child or whatever. Really watchable. So it's probably, you know, one of those that the video has helped push him through. But I think the juries would like this because it's, as Tristan said, it's different. It's sort of got its own unique style compared to a lot of things that were there. How well it's going to do when it's live, that'd be interesting to see, really, because obviously you won't be able to put what he had in the video on the stage. So, yeah, this will be one to watch just to see how different it is.
And finally, Alina, was this song for you? Can you imagine? No. Is that it? One word, done. I think that was it. One word and done. That was Jyrise and Plaksuta. My only dislike was his glasses, says Thomas. There you go. Thank you, Thomas. Nearly 300 of you in the chat room or certainly watching live this evening. Give us a like or dislike. I have no idea why 300 of you would actually bother to get out and watch this on a Sunday evening, but thank you for being there. We appreciate it nonetheless. You're listening to ESC Fan TV, and we are talking SD Laul quarter final 2. One final song to go. This is Silence. You know, you won't be surprised to learn that Kaia-Liisa has a musical theatre background, and that was very much musical theatre. Vaikus, which means silence. And there's a little box thing at the bottom of the screen that we see that you don't see. And I could see Tom waving his arm, so I'm coming to Tom first, because he seemed to be enjoying it the most. Tom, this is right up your street, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what? This actually, along with the other one that went through, which I think you've already discussed, is it Vaata, Minu, Poole by Helen.
Yes.
This was one of my 2 outstanding moments from last night. I think this has a unique big ballad quality. It's got a really nice construction to it. She sings it really well. It's got a nice rhythm to it. I thought the video was very elegant as well. I just thought it really, really, really deserved to go through, and I'm really pleased that the jury's actually sent it through, because I think it's one of those songs that is going to be perhaps in a minor thing like this with the quarterfinals and stuff. It's the type of thing that would get overlooked, but I think it's the type of thing that when you get to the semi-finals, when you see it on stage, has the potential to really, really go big, and I think it's going to do really, really well.
Interesting. Nothing to do with the fact it's the only song with a key change.
Everyone loves a key change, Stuart. I don't know what you're talking about.
Especially in Sweden. Jeanette, you love a key change. The Swedes love a key change. Does Sweden love this entry?
Ooh, we love the key change. It's an okay song, actually. It's not that bad. It gets better when you've listened to it a few times. And I think the video is good. It draws you in and you want to listen to it. And hopefully her voice is as good as it sounds here. I haven't heard her voice live, so I don't know. But if they make it a good act on stage, romantic, maybe, of course, there's going to be some dancing, could do well, actually. I think it can make it all the way to the final,
Ooh.
Estonian final. But of
Okay.
course, Stig will win anyway. But might be there.
So you talked about dance. You mentioned dance there. Let's talk interpretive dance. Michelle, is there ever a place for interpretive dance?
Yeah. No, I'm lying. Do you know what? I quite like this. She went all a bit Kate Bush, but not on the song. If only the song matched the Kate Bushiness of her dancing. But I liked it because you can imagine doing shadow puppets on stage, and the staging would be great, and and it'd be all flowy But I thought that painting was a bit shit. I thought she needs a better artist.
Yeah, that tree, that tree wasn't a happy tree.
Was it a tree?
Yeah, I think it was a tree, but it was no Bob Ross.
It was no Bob Ross.
But yeah, I liked it as well.
I didn't mind it.
There was a guy. I'm assuming that was a sign language.
Oh, he had a man bun. Oh, there was that bloke, the man bun. I didn't like that.
That was the only bit. Yeah, he did have a man bun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
did anyone know what she was singing about? Have anyone translated it?
Obviously, it was about a man in a man bun and a tree. Were you not watching the video like the rest of us?
Yeah.
Maybe someone will water the pole. Who knows?
No, it was definitely a tree. Otherwise, they wouldn't have painted one.
I think in terms of staging, though, it takes me back to Ukraine from, maybe 2008, 2010 era, where the lady was kind of making sand designs live on stage, and I really feel like they could do something like this in the semi-final, projected on screen.
I think this would be brilliantly staged with the shadow puppetry sort of thing and everything.
Something like that.
Or somebody behind, like, in shadow dancing.
Trumpets. They can borrow it from UK.
I don't think she could do that. I don't think she could do that dance and sing.
You can go off people. You can go off some people sometimes.
I know. You can't have our trumpets. Our trumpets, they're going to be staged in the UK Eurovision Museum one day.
Yeah.
That no one will go to. Anyway, they are your 5 qualifiers. Thank you, Kartul Pudding. I assume he's Estonian. At least I hope he is, and he likes that song. We're going to ask our panel just one final question before we wrap up. Yes, Tristan, come in, Tristan.
Do you want to know any of the lyrics?
Yes, go on.
Of
course. I forgot you would have translated those lyrics. Go for it.
Basically, you have to be yourself. You can only make decisions with your eyes closed. You can only stop silence. Silence could finally be for us the place where you only listen to silence, wishing that you were free from your thoughts. It's a bit wishy-washy.
But silence could be good sometimes.
Good old Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That would have been a Google Translate thrown in. Very good. Thank you, Tristan. Final question for the panel. Who were their favourites? Who was their favourite song of the night? God, dare I ask this question. Let's start with Martin. Martin, who was your absolute favourite last night?
Well, it was one of the ones that didn't make it through, which was Desiree, basically. That was my favourite of the night. Followed closely by An-Marlen.
Thank you very much. Jeanette?
Yeah, I'm not sure I should pick anyone, but if I have to, I would go with Desiree too.
Thank you very much. Elina, who was your favourite?
I don't know. I like the disco laser boop act, and then the ballet act, and I can't choose. And they all sound kind of the same to me. It's so weird.
It was kind of a weird quarterfinal. They're kind of all of a similar sort of standard, really. Tristan, who was your favourite?
Meisterjaan was my favourite, but if I'm being serious, An-Marlen was the best song.
Thank you, Tristan. Phil and Michelle, you get two. What was that?
Meisterjaan.
Hashtag free Meisterjaan.
I think they have missed out on a trick there. Stupid. Should have put him through automatic. You could have,
I think it's a shame that we won't get to see a live performance, because I think that could have been great.
Because you know that his mum's about having to look after him and did the videoing, and makes cups of teas for everyone and stuff. Mr. Trick.
It was, and I'd loved to have seen that live. And Tom, you joined us late, but good that you could join us. Who was your favourite of the Estonian 10?
It's a tough choice, but do you know what? I'm going for Vaikus. Just inches out Helen's song. I just liked the musical theatre vibe to it, and I thought that was what made it stand out.
Thank you very much. So very few of us chose any of the actual qualifiers then. That's good. That's good in Estonia last night. You've been watching ESC Fan TV, talking Estonia, Eesti Laul quarterfinal 2. Join us this time next week for quarterfinal 3. That's 8 o'clock Central European time, 7 p.m. UK time. For more of this, I'd like to say a big thank you to the panel. Big thanks to Jeanette from Malmö.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Big thanks to Tristan.
Thank you. See you next week, maybe.
Big thank you to Martin from Let Me Be the One blog and podcast. He's keeping his options
Thank you to everyone. And yes, like everyone else, I will be here next week as well.
Who haven't I done? Big thanks to Lina.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you next time.
Good to see you. Big thank you to Phil and Michelle.
Thank you. It's good to be back again.
I don't want to do it again.
Actually, can I join you? Big thank you to Tom. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Dee.
Thank you to everyone in the chat room. We'll be back next week. Do leave us comments. I'm so sorry. I was kind of hosting and doing the chat room all at the same time. Realised it's too much for me to do. Good that Tom was able to join. But we are going to be back this time next week, and we will see you very, very soon. Have a wonderful week, and look forward to joining us this time next week.